Hello, Dave Garrett again from Empower Software. This is the second video tutorial in the scheduling series. So if you haven't seen the first one, I suggest that you go back and watch the first one, which is about backwards and forwards scheduling and the differences between them. This video is going to cover backwards scheduling. Now what happens with a backwards schedule is it starts at a particular date and it works backwards. So for example, you might have a date that is the end of the month, and you might decide that you've got to do a particular task 5 days before that end of the month, and then another task 5 days before that, and then another task 5 days before that. And what Empower does is it schedules those tasks depending on the rules that you have set. So let's just get into it very quickly. As at the last video, I have got a product in here that's called product 1, and you can see that that product 1 has got 4 steps: step 1, step 2, step 3 and step 4. And I've also got a job in here that's called job 1. And that job has got a required by date of the 10th of the 7th. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to the 14th of the 7th, just to make it a little bit more obvious about what's happening here. So this job is due in the middle of July. Okay. Now you'll see that this job has got a product called product 1. Okay, and the product 1, if we go into here, into our, set up our products again, you'll see that product 1 is actually part of, and this is an important concept to get, it's part of a product group called 4-day. Okay, now what does 4-day mean? Well, or how do we set up a product group called 4-day? Well, what we could do is we could actually have this, we go here into the advanced setup and a product group, and we might want to add a new one, for example, called 8-day. Okay, and so now if we go back into our product and edit the product, so this product 1, we're going to change this. It's now going to be part of the 8-day product group. My suggestion is that you name these product groups in some sort of time frame. So, a 3-week job or a 4-week job or what have you. Okay. So once that's set up, we can now go into setup, advanced setup, scheduling. And what we can do is we can have in here a schedule. We can have all these different schedules. I'm going to add a new backward schedule here, and I'm going to call this the 8-day schedule. Okay, and the product group that's going to be the product group, or the grouping of products that are going to be part of the 8-day schedule, are going to be the 8-day product group. So that includes the product that we've got in there, which is product 1. For simplicity, I'm going to leave weekends off, and I'm going to just have it's obviously a backward schedule. So remembering that job 1 was supposed to be ready on the 14th, what we're going to do here is say that step 1, the last step, step 4, needs to be done 2 days or started or completed 2 days before the job required by date. Okay, and step 3 needs to be completed 4 days before the job required by date. And step 2 needs to be completed 6 days before the job required by date. And step 1 needs to be completed or started 8 days. Oops. 8 days before the required by date. I can save that. And that's all we need to do. That's that simple to set up a schedule. Let's have a look and see what we've done. If I go View, Scheduling, Schedule, and I update my schedule, when I click on View Schedule, we would expect that what we would see was step 4 on the 12th, step 3 on the 10th, etc. Let's have a look and see what we've got. So there we go. Step 4 is due on the 12th, step 3 due on the 10th, step 2 on the 8th, and step 1 on the 6th. Now the really nice thing about this is that if I go back into my job and I edit my job, okay, so if I'm going to go back here into job 1, and I edit this end date to maybe the 13th, so it's one day before, and I click on Save, then what happens is when I go back and have a look into my schedule and I update my schedule, and you guessed it, it's now going to be working backwards from the 13th. So there's my step 4 is now on the 11th, or 2 days beforehand, step 3, etc. Just while we're at it here, some of the other things that you can see here is obviously the highlighted one is the day. All these tasks are able to be dragged and dropped, so I can, for example, drag and drop this from the 7th to the 8th if I wish, okay, or backwards or forwards. I can look at this in different periods, so for example I can see a week here at a time. Okay, if I go back to the month, I can perhaps drag that job from the 5th to the 6th, and then I can see in the week, I can see all my different jobs for that week. There they go. Again, these are all drag and drop in within here as well, and you'll see them all stacked up on top of each other in here. And that's it. It's pretty simple. That's basically how scheduling works. A backward schedule. Stay tuned for a forward schedule video.